Hello Internet, Alex from Barefaced here, and I'd like your help in deciding what we need to add to our repertoire of instruments to kind of demo the stuff you want to hear. So, I'll give you a quick rundown on what we have in the selection. Let's see how well this works. Right, over here, so we're going to be talking about bass and guitar, FYI. I feel we're pretty well sorted on the bass front, but there's a lot more gaps to be filled on the guitar front, and I feel there is more need for different variety in guitar world. I mean, I'm coming at this as someone who started playing bass over 25 years ago now. Don't know how the time's flown like that, but only really got into playing guitar a few months ago because they always seem too small and annoying. But now I'm really enjoying it and spending a lot of time fitting guitar in around the rest of my life. So let's go from left to right. On the bass front, we have Fender Precision with flats. This is technically a Sire Marcus Miller, but basically it's a Fender Jazz with rounds. We've got my Stingray Special with rounds. Then we have my very unusual custom bass. This is an extra long scale. It's 36-inch scale, which I'm thinking of setting this up to be tuned down to A, so a tone down from standard, because it's good at going low because it's 2 inches longer than a normal bass. Right, so then also on the bass front, we've got two oddities up here, which I picked up hilariously cheap at some sort of charitable thing. They are not expensive basses anyway, but that's an Ibanez. Yeah, it is an Ibanez Road Gear, or whatever it's called, from the 90s, which has been defretted, so that can definitely do fretless duty. We need to sort them out because they still have awful old strings on and are in a bit of a state. And then this one up here is a Tanglewood beginnery sort of P bass, but I'm thinking, as it sounds okay acoustically, I think it's just a question of putting a better pickup in it and some fresh, probably steel round wounds on, and that can be our gnarly, bright sounding P bass for attacking with a pick, as a nice contrast to the flat wound strung Fender over there. And then lurking in the corner and in need of some love is I'm going to use this guitar as a pointer. See up there? That is my fantastic 1987 Warwick Streamer, which was my first good bass and my main bass for a long time. And yes, it's been sort of superseded in my bass playing life by the Custom 5 here, which is a crazy beast, and now the Stingray. But it's a really awesome sounding bass. But I'm thinking it might be a good idea to tune it down to B, because it works very well. It's a Warwick. They're very good at going low and down tuning. Obviously, it's only a 34-inch scale, so you're not going to get the extra string tension. But there's a lot of 34-inch scale length basses that are tuned down to B. Usually 5 strings. But yeah, I think it'd be quite useful to have a standard scale, aggro sounding, essentially 5-string with a G missing. And the other bass, which is awesome and needs to be turned back into a bass, because at the moment it's a piccolo bass, which is basically a guitar with a sort of extra long scale guitar with 2 strings missing, is this Watt Plower, which is a fantastic short scale, and it's due for a bit of modding in that it's going to have I've had a humbucker, high output, hopefully bright sounding humbucker made to go in here, so it'll be a 3 pickup oddity, but should cover all our short scale tones. So that's the bases. Hopefully, if you're a guitarist, you have been listening, because I think we're pretty well covered on the bass front. Do tell me if I'm wrong. On the guitar front, we do not have so many. There's no surprise there. I'm a bassist first and foremost. We have our Les Paul, which isn't a Les Paul, it's a Sire Larry Carlton L7, which we're really impressed with. And we have this Reverend Eastsider T. It's a Telecaster, but better than you can get from Fender for anywhere near that sort of money. So, got those two awesome guitars. We also have an early 90s Squier Strat, which just needs a bit of freshening up. It's from that sort of plywood bodied era, so it isn't the greatest sounding Strat in the world. However, it feels like everyone else who works here plays a Strat, so we have a lot of Strats that come in and out. One of the guys who works here also plays I've forgotten what brand it is, but basically it's something like a Gibson ES335, so it's that sort of semi-hollow. And I've also got the Gretsch, which you may have seen in a guitar video, which is the big bodied, so it's a big jazz box, hollow body with Gretsch pickups, which is my one that's living at home more of the time for actual playing guitar and practicing, getting better at this stuff, so that'll come in for videos as and when. Now, my thinking on what we need is, well, there's three things that are sort of vying for attention at the moment, but I'm sure you can think of many more. We were thinking of getting a baritone guitar, so I don't know how many of you are playing baritone. I know they are more niche than other guitars, but we're a niche company, we do specialist stuff, so it's, I think, investigating where we can solve problems, you know, with a awesome cab that works well for baritones is a good idea. So we're looking at baritones. Reverend, who we've got a great relationship with, and they make great guitars for the money, and yeah, they do a nice baritone. There's other baritones out there. The other things I was thinking about, something with P90s, and there I keep sort of flip-flopping between the do you go for the sort of Fendery style, longer scale, bolt-on neck P90 thing, or do you go for the shorter scale set neck Gibson P90 thing, so, you know, maple and versus mahogany as well. Again, Reverend do a selection of those we've been looking at. And also, do you go semi-hollow with P90s? Do you go with 2 picks, 3 pickups? Do you go with a fixed bridge or something with a tremolo whammy arrangement? Because that does give it a different vibe. There's so many options out there, and obviously we have finite money, finite space, finite time, so I want to narrow it down to what's best. So do give me some pointers on that. And the other thing, because I probably date myself here, I've been learning a bunch of stuff on the guitar these last couple of weeks, and found myself digging into some vintage Metallica, and then was going, oh, do we need a metal guitar? A proper chuggy thing with AMGs? I mean, I feel it's got to have those, you know, the AMG, is it 81 and the 60 for that rhythm guitar-y thing. I mean, obviously the other sort of metal guitar that we could have is your sort of super strat shreddy thing, but no one here is really a super strat shreddy sort of player, so I feel that would be wasted on us. Hopefully we can get some guys to come in and do that sort of whammy bar, dive bombing, you know, bendy, twiddly, scallop fret craziness. But yeah, but I think something where we can chug, maybe even I'll get the hang of chugging, because I've literally started playing with a pick a week ago. I've dabbled with a pick like Monster Blue Moon on bass and always found it annoying, and then I started playing the guitar a few months ago without a pick because I find picks annoying, and then I don't know, something just clicked a week or so ago, so I've been using, I've dropped it. They're very small, aren't they? Jazz 3. But do give me some thoughts on picks. But anyway, I'm going to stop here because you could go on for ages. But yes, at the moment, as I say, we have a Les Pauly thing, we have a Telly sort of thing, we have many Strats that can visit, we have the big jazz box Gretsch, we have a 335 sort of thing, and yeah, chuggy guitar, metally guitar, baritone guitar. Of course, with a baritone, it also allows us to go into down tune, you know, new metal and post that era of metal, so, you know, your 7-stringy sort of thing. So there's options there. The baritone can sort of cover that as well. And yes, then the P90, do you go with the Tony Iommi P90 thing, or do you go with something in a completely different direction? I don't know. So yes, suggestions for what we can invest in so that we can educate you about what our cabs sound like for your sound and sell more cabs, because that's the point. You know, we're not trying to spend the company profits on guitars for the sake of guitars. We would like to actually sell more gear because of it. That is what we're here for. Spread the word and educate people and make everything sound better, because our cabs definitely do sound better. Anyway, I've been Alex from Barefaced. There's our sign. Thank you. See you next time.